Believe it, you can be the difference. 103.9 FM. The closing argument in the Derek Chauvin murder trial in a brief break. The prosecution's draft defense is up next.
Half of all U.S. adults have gotten at least one COVID vaccine dose. And today, New Jersey opened eligibility to those 16 and older. I'm Tim Jimenez.
And the U.S. Supreme Court will not hear a Pennsylvania case stemming from the 2020 election. Cloudy skies, 65 degrees. Hoping to see some showers and up to 67 today. Not a whole lot of sunshine. And good afternoon to you. I'm Michelle Durham. Closing arguments expected today. This is the murder trial of Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. And the prosecution concluded their close after several hours. That happened just around the noon hour. The defense will now present their case, and they are expected to take several hours as well. Let's get the latest from CBS News.
CBS News special report. Closing arguments of the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin.
What the defendant did was not policing. What the defendant did was an assault.
Prosecutor Steve Schleicher tries to bring the jury back to the video images of Chauvin with his knee on George Floyd's neck.
The force was too much. He was trapped. He was trapped with the unyielding pavement underneath him, as unyielding as the men who held him down.
The jury is yet to hear from Chauvin's lawyer, CBS News legal contributor Alexis Ho.
In this case, it's not an issue of who did it. Intent to kill is not an issue. And this is really an instance where the fact that Chauvin didn't testify won't really weigh as heavily on these jury minds.
The jury could get the case later on today. CBS News special report. I'm Steve Kathan.
And stay with KWW News Radio. Count on us for continuing coverage. Across the pond, British researchers approved to get to the next phase of COVID-19 research. Tell you what that entails after we talk to Stevie, and she helps you negotiate the Schuylkill and the Blue Route. That's next. Traffic and weather on 2. Traffic is jammed on the Blue Route 476 and the Schuylkill Expressway. This is all because of construction. The delay northbound on the Blue Route, well before you get to Villanova St. David's, all the way up to past the Schuylkill Expressway. At least a half an hour delay in this. Also, westbound on the Schuylkill Expressway, traffic is jammed up before Gladwin all the way out to the Blue Route, that northbound, because of that construction that's out there. Stay to the left if you're going to continue west on the Schuylkill Expressway. We've had several people call in and talk about these two delays and say, these are really, really bad. You know what? You're right. They're really, really bad delays. So north on the Blue Route 476 and westbound Schuylkill Expressway, as you head for the Blue Route, you really don't want to go there if you don't have the time to wait. Something new. There is a crash, and apparently there is a car. They're trying to get this out of the way. This is on the Media bypass, Route 1 northbound at the Blue Route 476. So all the ramps in that area are jammed up. Not the best place to try to get on the Blue Route. Things are looking okay on 95 north and southbound, Vine Street Expressway, east and west. Not bad at all. New Jersey, 42, 55, 295. All these major roads are generally looking okay. Our bridges are too. So we're going to go back to PA on the Turnpike westbound. Traffic is jammed up after Malvern, headed for Downingtown, and back to construction eastbound at Valley Forge. More work going on. 35 back eastbound at the Business 30. Looks like there's some work or something going on in the right lane. Can't see what exactly what it is. Independent on camera, but stay over to your left. And westbound 422 after Trooper Road, left lane's blocked with construction. From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement 24-hour traffic center, I'm Stevie Reese. All right, Stevie, let's get the 5-day forecast. NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz.
Well, a lot of clouds around during the day today. Still on the mild side with a high temperature about 67, and a chance of some showers during the afternoon, at least in a few spots. Tonight we've got clearing at a low about 48. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, unseasonably warm, and the high 74. But changes start Wednesday. Showers with a chance of strong thunderstorms moving in, gusty winds, the high near 70, but then temperatures falling later. Thursday, chilly, partly cloudy, windy, much colder, the high only 54, and wind chills in the morning in the 20s. Then on Friday, mostly sunny, breezy, not as cold in the afternoon, the high 65. Saturday, partly sunny and warmer, the high near 70. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz.
Right now it is 65, on the way up to 67 today. It's 12:35.
The COVID-19 vaccine, the latest from KYW News Radio.
And anyone 16 and older can now try to get a COVID-19 vaccine in New Jersey. The Garden State joins the rest of the region and the country in having widespread eligibility. Hewitt Abuse Tim Jimenez reports half of the U.S. population has gotten at least one dose.
The U.S. hit the 50% mark for adults over the weekend, and since New Jersey, Hawaii, Oregon, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Vermont expanded eligibility today, every state in the country has met President Biden's goal of having every adult eligible to get vaccinated by April 19. Tim Mathiori, who got his first dose here at the Camden County College vaccine site this morning, is glad more and more people are now eligible, and he's hoping the process holds up.
Time is money, right? So, as accessible as they can be is important.
Now, Tim was eager to get vaccinated, but there are those who are not. And Dr. Anthony Fauci says it's very important to reach them.
We got to try and convince them why it's so important to get to where they want to be and where I want to be and where all public health officials want to be, would be to get vaccinated.
He says now is a critical time as infections are way up. The average has been about 70,000 cases a day, and a goal, he says, is to see that drop to below 10,000. In Blackwood, Tim Jimenez, KOW News Radio.
1236, and the Supreme Court says it will not hear a case out of Pennsylvania related to the 2020 election. It's a case that has lingered while some election challenges had already been rejected by the justices. The High Court directed a lower court to dismiss the case as moot. The justices had in February, after President Joe Biden's election, rejected a handful of cases related to the election. In the case the court rejected today, however, the court had called for additional briefing that was not complete until the end of March. The case involved the federal court challenge to a Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision requiring election officials to receive and count mail-in ballots that arrived up to 3 days after the election. British researchers have been given the go-ahead to try to reinfect young COVID survivors.
The plan is to expose adult recent COVID survivors under the age of 30 to the coronavirus to see whether or under what conditions they can catch it again. Study leader Helen McShane.
That information can then be used to develop better vaccines, to test better vaccines, and to test and develop new treatments.
The results should be known by the end of the year. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Another crash of a Tesla leaves 2 people dead.
2 men are dead after a Tesla crashed in Houston. It's believed the vehicle was operating without anyone in the driver's seat. Investigators say the 2019 Tesla Model S was traveling on a roadway at a high rate of speed and came to a slight curve. For whatever reason, the car did not curve and went off the roadway and hit a tree. Police say that at one point, firefighters had to call Tesla to ask how to put the fire out. It took them more than 4 hours to do so. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened nearly 30 investigations into crashes of Tesla vehicles. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Mexico's president has a plan that would allow migrant workers temporary legal work status in the U.S. and help the environment.
Standing in a Mexican jungle, the president of Mexico detailed a plan to grant regional agricultural workers a temporary U.S. work visa.
Ya tienes derecho en automático a una visa de trabajo por 6 meses para Estados Unidos.
Farmers would first have to plant trees in Mexico or Central America for 3 years and then be rewarded with a 6-month U.S. visa. Adrian Bard, CBS News, Mexico City.
Construction causing heavy delays on the Blue Route and the Schuylkill Expressway. We'll take a look at all that with Stevie for you next.
After a busy workday, Michelle Durham and Jay Scott Smith will catch you up. Philadelphia's afternoon news on KYW News Radio, 103.9 FM. The Pathways at Warrington would like you to know that caring for our residents and keeping them safe is everything to us. All of our extraordinary staff have been fully vaccinated and are ready to provide a renowned level of care for you or a loved one immediately. The Pathways is now open and offering very attractive limited time move-in specials for new residents. Call for details. 40 personal care and 42 memory care residences are available. And unlike many senior care communities, Pathways offers just one all-inclusive fee with no entrance fee, no application fee, and no community fee. Call the Pathways at Warrington today and schedule a private tour with Michelle DiVincenzo at 267-228-4690 anytime, or go to pathwaysatwarrington.com. Call today. This is the special care facility you've been hoping to find.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's crunchy!
Creamy!
Sweet.
Salty. Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Peanut Bars. Bursting with crunchy peanuts, dipped in creamy nut butter coating. Delicious. Nature Valley.
There's a lot of streaming services out there, each filled with reality TV, comedy, drama, and of course, superheroes. But there's one dedicated entirely to nonfiction TV and documentary films, and that's Curiosity Stream. History, science, nature, we got it. Space, dinosaurs, big cats, we got that too. And pretty much anything else you want to explore. Go ahead, add some smart TV to your smart TV with Curiosity Stream. Go to curiositystream.com to sign up and start streaming today.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call quickgrainger.com or just Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
12:42. How are Americans spending their stimulus money? Let's take a look at that and stuff the TV first. Lots going on. Traffic and weather on the tube. Traffic is jammed on Blue Route 476 northbound. It's jammed on the Schuylkill Expressway westbound too, and it's all because of construction. It's got 30 minutes at least in this Blue Route delay northbound. As you approach Villanova St. David's, traffic is just absolutely crawling all the way up to down above that. So it's basically two separate construction things, but it makes for one huge, long delay. Westbound on the Schuylkill Expressway, traffic is jammed up. The rest of the Blue Route, we had an earlier crash. It looks like it was on the immediate bypass northbound ramp to go to the Blue Route north, but it's all gone. So everything looks much, much better. You don't have to worry about that. Looking good on 5 north and southbound. No delays to report on the Vine Street Expressway either. 202 looks to be in good shape. It's construction on the Pennsylvania Turnpike that'll slow you down westbound, approaching Downingtown. Eastbound looks like the work crew that was near Valley Forge must have gone, maybe at least just for lunch. And westbound on 422 is heavy. And Cooper Road, that is construction. New Jersey, 42 is all right. 55 to 42 is a little bit slow. Not seeing any major problems. There's some work going on 322, both rated between 130 and 295 are taking up the right lane. Till 4 o'clock, Delaware River Bridge west. Not a major delay, just goes down to 1 lane, and it can change from time to time. Also west on 322, back on the PA side of Houlton Cherry Tree, traffic is jammed with construction there. Mass transit, things are moving without any serious problems. Your next update is coming up in less than 10 minutes. From the PJ Fitzpatrick Home Improvement 24-hour Traffic Center, I'm Stevie Reed. Sorry. Stevie, let's get the forecast sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Washington, Westchester, and Atlantic City. NBC 10 First Alert Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Short.
Cloudy skies this afternoon, a chance of a shower in some spots, with a high temperature about 67, pretty close to average for this time of the year. Tonight clearing, a low of 48. Tomorrow, the warmest day of the week by far. Mostly sunny, that's seasonably warm, and a high 74. Wednesday, the changes start. Showers, a chance of strong thunderstorms, gusty winds. The high near 70, but then temperatures fall. And Thursday, much colder and windy. I'm NBC 10 First Alert Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Short.
65 on the way up to 67 today.
Experience your Mercedes your way, all online in the palm of your hand. Research, find your car, get a trade appraisal, and get a great price. Or come on in to Mercedes-Benz of Fort Washington, Westchester, or City. Visit yourmercedes.com.
Let's Check Wall Street is sponsored by CrashProofRetirement.com, where you can see videos of people who have peace of mind with their own crash proof retirement system. The Dow's down 198.67, Nasdaq down 201.11, and S&P 500 down 2.35.
All news, no noise. News
News Radio 103.9 FM.
Three things to know at 12:45. Sponsored by Life Brand. Winter's not the only season you need to prep your car for. The PA state legislature expects to take up a measure to prevent cities from shutting down a child's lemonade stand. Former Campaigner Tom Story, the defense now presenting its arguments in the Derek Chauvin murder trial in Minneapolis. The prosecution wrapped up its arguments around noon after several hours. And that's all I had in the next 15 minutes. I'm Michelle Jerome, Greg Orlandini at the editor's desk, along with Charlotte Reese. So with the arrival of warmer weather and more people starting to head back out onto the highway, you might want to check whether your car or SUV is road ready. KW's Mark Abrams following this press, as many of us have been inattentive when it comes to keeping our vehicles in shape.
Gina Tidwell of AAA Mid-Atlantic says we've been a little distracted the past several months.
With kids being at home from school and most of us teleworking, we just weren't driving the way we typically did, and therefore we weren't performing the regular routine maintenance that we typically do on our vehicles.
Tidwell says it's important to get caught up.
In addition to what we would typically consider your basic oil change and have the fluids checked and topped off in your vehicle, motorists need to pay some extra attention to your car battery.
And Tidwell says not driving your vehicle regularly actually drains the battery. I didn't know that either. And she urges heading to a mechanic now to perform a battery test to find out where your battery strength stands and if it needs to be replaced. The Pennsylvania State House is expected to take up a bill today that would prevent municipalities from shutting down a child's lemonade stand because the kid doesn't have a permit. Here's KWW Suburban Bureau Chief Jim Miller.
Republican Central PA State Rep John Hershey calls this legislation the Free to Lemonade Stand bill, but he says it extends beyond lemonade stands to kids who shovel driveways or mow lawns that are forced to shut down because they don't have a permit.
We've had examples of that happening in Pennsylvania, particularly in suburban areas where a municipality or an HOA might crack down on these minor-owned businesses.
Hershey says he's surprised how many colleagues in the House have told him they've had similar issues in their district. This legislation has limits. A permit could be required if the minor makes more than $5,000 or operates for more than 84 days. And while it would exempt them from any municipal business licensing, it would not exempt them from state permits. For example, with the Department of Health or the Department of Agriculture. Bottom line, Hershey says,
I think this is just a really good opportunity to support our young children entrepreneurs.
At the Suburban Bureau, Jim Melwart, KWW News Radio.
A study on how Americans are using their latest federal stimulus payment.
A study from the New York Federal Reserve shows Americans are using most of their federal stimulus payments for savings and for paying down debt. Financial planner Christian Finfrock isn't surprised.
When you get some of the stimulus money with the uncertainty that our future holds, putting it in saving and paying down debt are a responsible thing to do.
And coming in last on the answer to the relief payment is spending.
That this is the last check that they will receive.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
Someone again tries to break into Taylor Swift's New York City home.
It's happened again. Police were called to Taylor Swift's Tribeca home around 11 p.m. Saturday night after Hank Johnson allegedly tried to break in. The New York Post says the 52-year-old was trying to gain entry when their front door was opened. It's not known if the pop star was there, but she purchased 3 apartments in the building, as well as the townhouse next door. In all, the paper says she's dropped $48 million buying properties on the block. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
Apologies from the Latin superstar. Mark Anthony issued a mea culpa to fans for what he called a total collapse of the streaming platform Maestro. It was supposed to show his virtual concert over the weekend, but a technical glitch crashed the site, sparking a barrage of online complaints from ticket holders. 90 minutes after the show was supposed to begin, Anthony promised to reschedule it. Maestro has streamed performances by Billie Eilish and Tim McGraw in the past. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. Jailed Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny being moved to a hospital in another prison. The a doctor says he could be near death. Navalny is in the 3rd week of a hunger strike, and the Russian prison service says that he agreed to take vitamin therapy. Well, back to Minneapolis we go for an update of the closing arguments in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. The prosecution wrapped around noon with theirs, the defense conducting theirs now. Let's get the latest from CBS News.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Futterman, live in Minneapolis. The defense has just started to present its closing argument in the Derek Chauvin murder trial. Chauvin accused of killing George Floyd. During the nearly 2-hour closing argument by the prosecution, Chauvin was repeatedly accused of murdering Floyd by placing his knee on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes. Prosecutor Steve Slisher.
Was George Floyd resisting when he was trying to breathe? No. And the defendant heard it, and he acknowledged it, and all he did was mock him.
The prosecutor said Chauvin ignored others who told him that the force on Floyd's neck was excessive.
He could have listened to the bystanders, he could have listened to fellow officers, he could have listened to his own training. He knew better. He just didn't do better.
Once the defense concludes, the jury will begin deliberations. They will be sequestered during those deliberations. CBS News Special Report. Futterman.
Stay with KOWB News Radio. Alpha Knox for continuing coverage. 12:51. A look at traffic next.
Hey now, Jay Scott Smith here. It's difficult to keep up with all the news that's flying at you throughout your workday, and that's where I come in. If you caught up on your way home on 103.9 FM, or if you're working from home, you can check us out on your smart speakers. Just ask Alexa to play KYW News Radio.
Switching your car insurance to Geico is both easy and could save you hundreds. It's the best of both worlds. Like a butcher with a sense of humor, a comedian.
I'd tell you a joke, but I'd probably butcher it. The stakes are too high.
Geico. Easy and saving. The best of both worlds.
The exclusive crash-proof retirement system can provide you double-digit interest credited to your account when the market is up, or away when the market drops.
My name is Robert Sims. I live in Levittown, Pennsylvania. With the crash-proof retirement system, you can get double-digit returns every year if the economy's booming. The interest credited to my crash-proof retirement system can never be taken from me. With all the debt that the nation has, I am leery of where the economy is going to head long-term. 2020